last thing I wanted to say before cutting off the video before was that it's essentially a long-term vision to be with someone that is a God-fearing woman who wants a God-fearing life where she doesn't need to be entertained. I was at the mall yesterday and I just looked around and I'm like, should my next video talk about my disdain for how rampant capitalism right now? And this is coming from a guy that was a staunch capitalist. Where are these people's souls? Because I was solely involved in it. I was all about free trade. I was all about Adam Smith, Wealth of Nations, all of that. And then I just went to a mall yesterday and it was just thousands upon thousands upon thousands and thousands of cars, just people just consuming. And the book, I've talked about it many times that I'm reading right now, talks about materialism and how the nth degree, when you take it to the extreme, and that's the only way to think about any theological or ideology that is going to be imposed upon a society, like say liberty or liberalism or individualism, is that what is the furthest you could take this, which is keeping up with the Joneses. It's that person has a nicer lawn, that person has a nicer car. The wife wishes she married a different guy, or the guy wishes his wife was, better looking. All these things just come into play. Oh, I wish my husband was richer. I wish my wife was prettier. I wish, my kids were smarter, or I wish, my car was nicer. Yeah, but what's your soul? And you read about the saints and their thought process was so radically different than ours today. And we are so indoctrinated from the youngest of age. This is an elementary school right behind me. From this age, kindergarten, you are indoctrinated based on someone's backpack, based on their clothing. This person has hand-me-down clothing as someone who's got really nice clothing. I think of all the people that are, clients or friends or whatever, and unfortunately their thinking, especially with their kids, is I need something new to feel worthy, or I need something to feel worthy. And that's all I saw at the mall, is walking around and understanding that these people potentially, obviously it's coming not from a righteous judgment, but from a pure judgment, unfortunately, but it's potentially a valid judgment, is that their entire thinking is that I need to be entertained to be fulfilled, whether that's a restaurant, a movie, that is, and I'm of course not saying it's bad, as I was listening to a very old lecture of a priest, and he was saying how bad music was going to be, because then the music went to dancing. And dancing is not good for the soul or for courting, to find a wife. That was a very different time where dancing was bad, music was bad, congregating was bad, because your desires are so much deeper than your will. Your will cannot your will cannot, in many cases, in most cases, in a society case, cannot muffle your sinful, fallen nature. And that's what the priest was talking about. So it's very interesting to really think about society when you come to the Catholic faith, and what the Catholic faith talks about, and how it's really only about your soul. It's not about wealth. It's not about, anything than just logically being in a state of grace at all times, because you have no idea when you're going to go. And as I was talking about it with my mom, you need to die a happy death. I forgot who said that originally, but die a happy death. So signing off from now. I know it's a little bit deeper, but it's definitely in my thought process as I go for a run and just seeing people. And I know on my last live, someone said something along the lines of, the suburbs are just as depressing as the city. And I never look at things through that lens of, say, quote unquote depressing, because I don't like using that language, because people want to then take it and say I am depressed, anxious, anxiety, whatever. They'll put I am before that. So this is obviously more of a Jungian when I was in my new age, but it's more of this is a state I'm having. a state of down, a state of anxiety, a state of nervousness, a state of jealousy, a state of yearning, or a state of whatever. So it's just a state. It's not who I am as a personality. But I look around here, everyone is showing beautiful lawns, beautiful houses, beautiful everything. And, you know, I'll turn it around, you know. Beautiful everything. Very wealthy people around here. And you just wonder, what's the state of their soul? I know I don't want to go too deep, but I got to every single time. Anyway, signing off for now.